Well, hello, good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Delkim live on a Thursday evening. How have you been? Hope you are well. Just kicking off. Well, shameless plug, really. Brand new, nice beanie hats that we have. Something that you can get from our shop. Nice Delkim logo on there. These are brand new. They're available with a brand new set of clothing. We've got nice t-shirts and polos and hoodies as well, but these are $12.99. These are nice and woolly and worth having. That's enough of the sell. Let's get on with some help, shall we? So good evening to you all. I will be catching up with what's going on in the world, and we've got a couple of things to go through tonight. We've had a couple of people ask questions. I put a post up today on the Facebook page if you wanted any help and advice. And we have Ayrton Leatherhead wanted to know about the LED functions on the older alarms, so we'll do that. And we've got Darko Ribic wanted to know about pairing and how you could do multi-channel pairing, so we can look at that as well. And of course, if you've got anything more you want to ask, then please do. I'm glad we've lost Martin Reed, who didn't want to be part of this, so good luck to him. And off we go. As we start, let's have a look. Martin Gotts, hello, my batteries die very quickly in these alarms. Is this an issue that you know about? What alarms are you on about? If you have a problem and they have an issue with battery life, then we can get that sorted for you, Andy. No worries with that. Our products have huge battery life, well over a year in the alarms, and I would say 6 months at least in the receiver. So I don't know which one you're on about, but we can get on it. So if you've got the new ones, is it on all the alarms? Let's see, and we will see if we can help you. But let's switch over, shall we, and crack on with a couple of things. We're on YouTube as well, so get your questions on in there. I see a couple of people on YouTube. Hello to you guys. And let's go and have a look at what we are discussing today. Right, so somebody asked me, I've got a standard plus alarm, and what does this button do, basically, is what they're asking. And it's the same on the TXI. This one here adjusts your LED modes. Okay, so we have different LED modes on the newer model, but this one adjusts the LED modes. So straight out of the box, you have medium brightness on here and no night marking. If you want to bring on the night marking, you just press the button. I turn that one down and that beeps once, and now you have night marking. I hope you can see that there. It's just glowing ever so gently. You might be able to see that. Now, if I hold it down for 2 beeps, I get brightness. So that's what we have there with no night marking. If I hold it down for 3, I get full brightness, day mode, but with night marking. I don't know whether you can just about see that that's glowing on there. And then if I hold it down for 4, you then get the lowest brightness or the nighttime setting on these older ones with night marking. So there are effectively 5 LED modes. Turning the alarm off, I'll turn it off and back on again. It will take a few seconds to re-spark up while it sends the anti-theft, puts it back to the default setting, which is, there it is, which is medium brightness. Okay, now on the TXID, it's slightly different. What you have is a day and night mode. So this one is currently in night mode. You can see the LEDs are glowing. And I can switch to day mode by just holding down the button. And then that brings that into, well, the default setting is full brightness, no night marking. And if I put it back to night mode, it's medium brightness with night marking. Those are the defaults. I can then change the LED brightness within 1 to 8 within those 2 settings. So if I just hold that down, I could put it at 1, which would be the very lowest brightness. So now I've got low brightness in night marking. And if I wanted to, when I put it into day, I could change that from maximum and put it into anyone I want. Okay, I put it into level 5. So now I've got level 5 for daytime. Oh, let's turn it down a bit. And I've got level 1 for night. So you can personalize it should you wish. That's the difference. And it remembers the setting. So whatever you've set it to now, if I turn the alarm off and back on again, it will remember what you've done, whereas this older model doesn't remember. So you have to keep resetting it. So that's one of the advantages of, or one of many advantages of this newer model over the older one. And we do get quite a few people who go, oh, my night marking's not working. So that's because you've got it in day. So pressing that button changes from day to night. So if you've got no night marking, you've got it in day. If you want to, you need to put it into the night mode, which is the tone goes down as opposed to the tone going up. So that's just, you toggle between that. Another little nice setting that the txi-d has, which might be worth me showing you, is that we have what's called stealth mode. So I can actually disable the LEDs in this alarm. Oh, good old Siri. I can actually disable the alarms in the LEDs in the alarm and just have them coming out the bobbin if I wanted to. So if I want to do that, just turn the alarm on. I go into the little setup mode. Okay, and now if I press this button, button 2, whilst in setup mode, I can now turn off the LEDs. So you can see there that the LEDs are actually not coming on the alarm. They're just lighting up, and hopefully you can see that. I might turn it up a little bit so you can see a little bit more. They're just coming out the bobbin, or obviously if you're not using a Delkim bobbin, then they won't come out of there at all, because you'll just have a normal bobbin plug hanging from there. So you'll get no LED working on there at all. You'll just get the night marking. So that's timed out now, and then you'll see that you just get the night marking on there and on there. So if you're in night mode, that's when you get the stealth mode. If I go back to day, I now get the LEDs come back on again. So that's a nighttime only setting. So it's just another little thing that you can adjust should you wish or not. You just leave it as it came out the box, and you can do whatever you like. If you want to turn that stealth mode off, you'd go back in. So turn the alarm off, turn it back on, go back into that setup mode, and then you can turn stealth mode off. So now your LEDs are working again. So let's come back to me. So hopefully that answered that question somewhat. Yes, there are 5 LED modes on your txi-d, or txi Plus or Standard Plus, and you get basically 8 levels of LED brightness on the txi-d, and you can then set your brightness either for day or night, so a bit more variation there, or you just leave it as it came out the box, which most people will probably do, which is maximum for day and medium for night. So it should be straightforward. Hopefully that answers some. Let's have a look if we've got any questions coming in. I'll try and get through them. If I miss any, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people having a look tonight, so let's have a look. Where have we got? Where did you get the jacket from? So this is Grant Harvey. You can buy these hoodies from our website. We've got a whole range of hoodies, and as I said, t-shirts and polo shirts and hats with the Delkim logo on. We've just renewed them all, so the new t-shirts and polo shirts will be going on soon. Best alarms by a mile, Matt Gale, thank you very much. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Tomorrow night I get my 4+1 set of RXDs. Can't wait. That's Nista Marcos Fusion. Hello, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Marius. So I hope you're glad with that. I love my Delkims. Can't I even have a Delkim alarm sound on my phone? Gets me out of bed for work. Thank you very much, Tom. drive me mad. I hear it every day, all day, every day. So I get used to it. It wouldn't get me out of bed anymore, I don't think. Let's have a look. All alarms and receiver, my friends' ones are the same. They can't all be using batteries. They can't all be using them up, both the alarms and the receiver. I find that very, very strange. Are you sure you've got a low battery in all those products Andy got? It seems a bit odd that you'd have, what's that, 4, so it's 8, when we have very few of anything go wrong. I need to probably speak to you directly and see if there's anything that's going on. Is it the receiver or is it the alarms? You want to make sure that you don't have your receiver. So this is for RXD. In fact, for most radio issues, don't have your receiver sat on battery packs or by electrical equipment. It's always a good idea to keep them, you know, so far apart. Don't have them sat. So many people have them sat on battery packs. That just keeps the receiver awake because there's electrical signal that's going on all the time. It just keeps the receiver awake, which will use the battery up more. So if you do fish and you have your little battery packs, which lots of people do now on their tables, bait tables, whatever, just try and keep the receiver at least half a metre away from that or any electrical stuff you might have. You know, if you take a laptop with you fishing, some people do, whatever, just keep it as far away, you know, as practical, and then that will definitely not have any effect on the battery life. We've got bigger battery life than any other system on the market, so should have plenty there. This is Chris Mitchell. I'm just reading this out, so bear with me. Are all the lights the same brightness? Had EVD green and it was brighter than yellow. Not txi-d. All the LEDs are set to as near as, damn it, the same brightness as we can. They're all powered slightly differently, which is why we have the separate colours, and you can't do LED changes that people ask for, but they're all set the same. So we've all balanced them out. Obviously, there is a perception with the eye that certain colours pick up better, like blue and green are slightly more vibrant than sort of yellow and red. The white is obviously bright. That's just eye perception. The actual level of brightness is virtually the same. Well, it is the same across all the alarms and all the levels. So unless there's a faulty item, the levels will be the same. Absolutely. What's this? Jason Michael Maloney. Are ND dongles compatible? The EV doesn't have the ability to plug anything in apart from our, you can see that there, that's just the socket for our illuminated hanger. So it has no output socket. It can't be made into a radio product. So it's just a standalone standard alarm, and it has a socket for our illuminated hangers. You can see there, same as the txi-d does. You can use any hanger with our any of our alarms, and you can use all our accessories. They're all the same, still the same quality, the same build, but it's got no ability to plug in a dongle. If you plug it in that socket, you're taking your chances of what happens to it, I'm afraid. It's not designed for that purpose. What we got here, amazing customers there. Thank you very much, Lee Torrington. Glad you like the customer care. Mark Brownwood, hope your fish tank's still in fine felt. Yes, it's looking a bit sad. It does need a little bit of a clean up. Mark, thank you very much. This tank does need a little bit of help. I love the concept of them and the features, but I'm struggling to remember how to do all the different things. Certainly not the simplicity of alarms again, but I love the concept. So Shatterford Tackle Den. Right. Yes. Okay. This is something, yes, they have features. Okay. But you turn them on and you fish. If you want to change those features, yes, you might have to have a look at how to change them because they have the ability to do different things. But ultimately, the only thing you can change on the alarm is the LED brightness and the beep speed. 2 things. And on the receiver, you've got about 3 things: D&D, run light, and you can adjust the vibration. If you download the Delkim app, which I will call up now, so hopefully you can see, the Delkim app has everything on there. It's got quick guides, video guides, so that if you are out in the field and you wanted to do something that was not the norm, because you wanted to change something, you can then have a quick check on what's going on. Yes, okay. If I can't remember something on a gizmo I might have bought 3 years ago that I don't change very often, yes, I might have to refer to instructions. We had somebody today who didn't know how the button worked on his standard plus because it had 4 LED functions, 5 LED functions. So yes, you know, sometimes you do have to look at an instruction manual to see what to do something if it's different from what you're using. But as it's set with all defaults out the box, all you got to do is adjust your volume and adjust your response, and away you go. That is really all you have to do. That's, you know, and it is, you know, it's a bit like a TV. As I've always said, TV has a book like that with all the settings, and all you do is turn it on and watch EastEnders. But you can have dynamic sound. You can have a different picture for sport or a different picture for a movie. You don't have to use it. Same again. It's just got a couple of extra features that you didn't have on the old ones. So that's where it is. What's this? What's this? Robert Ibrahim. When there is a bite and the fish after hooked, it run to the shore, mean non-aggressive bite. Move the rod pod, the alarm doesn't feel. This is obviously, it is translated this. Are you talking about dropbacks? Then if you're running dropbacks, you're going to need to turn up the sensitivity, or you're going to need to add more weight, Warand. So give me some more information, I'll help you out. Any new products? Not yet. No new products in the pipeline. Busy trying to, you know, show everybody the current ones. We really believe in the txi-d. It's a massive step forward on the previous model. It's just getting people to understand that all we did was remove where you changed the tone and took the switch away, and that seems to be something that people find difficult to understand. But at the end of the day, why do you need a rotary control for a tone when you never change it? You change it once. So that seems to blow people's minds. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. What else we got? So we'll go now and we will have a look at pairing, because Darko Ribic wanted to know how to do multi-channel pairing, and I will show you. Basically, and he wanted to know on the old system, so that's not a problem. I can show you that. So what we'll do is we'll show you how to clear the memory. So can you see that? Yes, where's the best place? Probably here. Right. So what you want to do is clear the memory on the receiver. You hold the button down on the back. You turn the receiver on. You wait for a pip. All the things flash. And then you hold it down again and you get another pip. And then it starts up. And now that's cleared the memory of that receiver. Okay. Now, normally, if you wanted to pair, you would just do a quick press and the first LED flashes. Okay, and that's what we call single channel pairing. So if I wanted to put that in the green channel, I could put it in the purple one, but I'm going to put it in the green for now because that's logical. I just keep pressing the button on the back till I get to the green. I activate my alarm. It says I got it by having that confirmation tone, and then I press the button again because I haven't got a yellow one. And that now is all done. And that starts up, says that the anti-theft is active and that you've got vibro, and now that's coming through there. Okay. Now, if I wanted to have more than one coming out the same channel, what I'd need to do is to hold the button down, turn it on. I'll clear the memory again. Oops. Let's do it properly. Got fat fingers today. Turn that on. Let go. Press the button again. That's it. Wait for a second. Pip done. Okay, so now that's ready to pair again. So this time, if I want to put them in more than one in each channel, so say I had 3 green. I haven't got 3 green here, but I can show you the concept. So say I had 3 green and I wanted them all coming out the green. If I hold the button on the back, and this time, instead of a quick press, I hold it down, you'll now see that that's making a pipping sound at me. Okay, it wasn't pipping before. Now that tells me that I'm in multi-channel programming. So now what I need to do is I can manually move by pressing the button. move to the green. Okay. Now this time, if I activate, it pairs, but now it stays on the green channel. Now it's saying, do you want another one in there? Well, I don't have another one at the moment, but if I had another alarm, I'd activate that one, and I can go up to 4 in that channel. So now, to finish, so you'd activate your 3 or 4, and then I'd press the button to skip over and skip again. And now that's paired, but using multi-channel. And the difference will be now when I activate that, you'll see that the LED, once it stops buzzing, on the latch, stays on there. It should flash once. And then what will happen is if you've got 2, it will flash 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I can show you better with the RXD because it's exactly the same principle. Exactly the same principle. So if I turn the receiver on, okay, that is paired with this one. Okay, there you go. It's in the purple channel. I've got a green one, so it doesn't really make any difference. You can do that. To clear the memory of a receiver, we turn it off. And this is in this one. We turn it off, turn it on. Keep the buttons held down. Wait for 2 beeps, and then press this button. It then resets itself. Okay, so if I turn this on, it's in pairing mode again. And we can activate that one, and it will pair, and it will be as it was before. If I hold the button down, okay, now that's pipping at me. Now it's saying I'm in multi-channel pairing. Okay, again, if I skip along, I can skip to the colour I want. So this will now be green. That's paired, and again, it stayed on the channel. So now, if I turn on another alarm, it's put 2 in there. So now you can see it's flashing 3 times. It's asking you what you want. If you want a third one, well, I can put a third one in if I've got one to hand. You do that one. There you go. I've got the yellow one in there. So now if I don't want any more, I can just skip by pressing the button. So now I've got 3 coming out of the green channel. So I've got this one here. You see that's flashing once as well. I've got this one. So that was the purple one I put in there. Channel 2, and you'll see the LED flashes twice. It's the same on the old system. So that indicates that it's channel 2. And then I've got this one here. This yellow one. That's coming through, and that will be flashed 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So you can see that that's coming through on the 3rd channel. So now I've got 3 coming out of the green. You can have up to 4 if you wanted to. So 24 alarms could be coming out of that one receiver. Good luck if you're fishing with that many rods. So, Darko Ribic, I hope that answers the question. And let's see if we've got any more questions coming our way. Let's have a look on YouTube just to see. Hello, how's it going? What are the advantages of the smart clips? Did smart clips last week, so if you want to go and have a look at that, Shinex, on last week's, 2 weeks ago in the last stream, then you can see all about smart clips. Basically, it evens out the angle of the bobbin. I can quickly do that. Oh, hello. How back to there? It evens out the angle of the bobbin, so you get full travel all the way to the top of the rod, and it doesn't pull on the reel. So on the bail arm of the reel, you get more travel, less tension, and just maximises your visual indication. Very, very simple, very easy. They just clip on the rod wherever you want to put them, because of the fact we don't have butt rings where they need to be any longer, because we've got like 2 rings on a rod. So that's what we do on there. That answers that one, hopefully. I'm 3 into diesel receiver from a cartfish, as you love them. The EVD alarms are a standalone Bible setup. Can be made as sensitive as the TXI. Yes, that's right, Dan Young. The sensitivity on the EVD, he's right, on the EVD is exactly the same as the TXID. There's no difference any longer. In the old system, There was just a lower range of sensitivity on the EV Plus. The EVD has a full range of sensitivity, so you've got maximum sensitivity for all setups. On the txi-d, which way does the sensitivity go? One being very sensitive, or 6? That's Van Eternal on YouTube. Clockwise turns everything up. Anti-clockwise turns things down. So, okay, yeah, we don't have any numbers anymore, but it's exactly the same way. So, clockwise turns everything up. Anti-clockwise turns everything down. Much like most, that's just a standard way of turning things up and turning things down. Let's just show you. Did I disappear? It's because I'm not switching cameras. Sorry. Clockwise turns everything up. Anti-clockwise turns everything down. So maximum response sensitivity is here. That is off. Okay, should be fairly simple to understand, I hope, on that one. Right, what else we got here? Best ones in the market. Chris bought ones, never been disappointed. Thank you, Malcolm Horn. Thank you very much. Don't forget, if you've got any more questions, drop them in to me. What else have we got here? Great response, thank you. I'll download the app. Yes, please download the app. Let's do it. Can you turn off the flashing light on the receiver? Yes, you can. Can we dig it? Yes, you can. That is the power on indicator, section 3.1 on the instructions. You can disable the power on indicator. So it's there to give you reassurance, a bit like a fire alarm, smoke detector that's just sitting there blinking, you know that it's powered up. That's what the power on indicator is, because there's no switch, you can't see it's on or off. If you don't like that, see section 3.1 and you can deactivate it. I'll show you now ever so quickly, but you can then go back there for reference to see. So what you need to do is turn the receiver on, wait for 2 beeps, okay, and then hold down the middle button. In this instance, because they went that way, I've turned the power on indicator back on again, and you'll might see that that will blink. I'm not going to wait 30 seconds, but if I want to turn it off, you need to turn the receiver off, turn it back on, wait for 2 beeps, and then you can press the middle button. So that has deactivated it. Okay, again, you know, that's more of an advanced setting, so it needs a little bit more things to do, but it's not something you're going to do, and it remembers the setting, so if you don't like it, it's off forever. Hello, Bill Whiteside, how you doing? Hope you are well. Carla's birthday is in a couple of weeks' time, so you're a bit early on that, I'm afraid, but thank you very much. I'll pass on your regards. This is Tim Tadgel. Hello, Tim. How are we doing? Nice to see you back on the live streams. Harley, could you ever do an alarm that has flashing drop back on the other alarms in the near future? Drop back is something that is difficult to do with vibration. So with no moving parts, telling which direction that the line is moving is very, very difficult, and something that we haven't been able to do with our system. Bear in mind, we've had it for 30 years. It's not stopped anybody catching any fish. But it's something that we are working on, something that we will work towards, and you never know, one day we might have a solution as technology improves. So I will never say never, but at this moment in time, being able to detect a difference in direction rather than the vibration of the line and the general movement is extremely difficult without a huge process. Yes, if you've got a wheel goes one way, wheel goes the other. But a wheel doesn't pick up vibration. And once your bobbins hit the deck, your wheel doesn't revolve anymore, does it? So it doesn't tell you anything. And of course, as we know, nothing picks up the movement like a Delkim. So that's always the big advantage. But yeah, it doesn't tell you that it's going backwards, unfortunately, at this time. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's Andy Goats. I'll come back to you, Andy, on that. So I have got a mental note, and I will come to you separately, that 5 months is probably about right out of a receiver, But if you're getting them out on the alarms as well, then that's something we will look at. That's clearly a fault there. It shouldn't, anybody on here will tell you that the battery life on our products is huge. Always has been, always will be. It's one of our USPs. Evening Lee, one of my txi-ds isn't as sensitive as the other two. If I lap the line and it doesn't register, fine. Obviously it's lost a bit of sensitivity, might have damaged the sensor. That's something that can happen every now and again if you get a damaged sensor. So all you need to do, download our app, go to the return section, fill out the details, get it back to us, and we'll get it sorted for you within 10 working days. Again, a lot of you coming out to play as the weather starts to pick up, a bit chilly, but it's warming up again. So you'll all be coming out the woodwork, out of hibernation, and getting your stuff out. Give it a check. I would always recommend getting your kit out, checking the battery's okay, give it a little wash and brush up. Just make sure, especially with whatever, just make sure that everything's clean and moving correctly. And, oh, let's turn that off. That's an anti-theft. So just give things a little brush and a clean with a toothbrush, a wipe down, even old alarms. Make sure everything's moving, all your buttons are moving, all your controls are moving. Check the battery, it's not corroded, check the battery's working. Don't just rock up on the bank, go, oh no, it's been sitting in my bag for 3 months and it's all, corroded and the battery's leaked and everything. So that's always good. Get out the thing, have a check, and then it should be right as rain before you go fishing, or else you'll be cursing everybody when you turn up on the bank and your alarms didn't work, or something's not right, or your batteries are flat because you didn't check before you left that everything was going to be okay. You'll be amazed at how many people just sort of go fishing, they never check the kit before you went, and then something's not right, and then everything's down to us while their whole fishing trip was ruined, apart from the fact that maybe you checked your kit was all functioning before you left for the trip of a lifetime. But what am I to say? These are the things that we have to put up. Yes, of course we want our bike alarms to work without any issues whatsoever, but these things do happen. But I would always, if I was going on a trip, I would just make sure that everything's working or cleaned and ready before I went on it, especially if it was an important, say, a trip to France or something. All right, this is John Jones. All right, mate, made the jump to the txi-d. Best move ever made. Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, John. Glad that you like them. I think it's one of them that when you do make the change, you realise what the benefits are. And I haven't really gone into the huge detail of what the benefits are of a txi-d. I don't want to keep going on. People want to know about the older stuff, and that's fine because there's a lot of it about, i.e. 15 years or more. But I think next time, we will look at that beat speed and show you what the huge difference is between a txi-d and a txi Plus, and what you're actually missing out on and could be getting more of by using the newer system as well as the better radio system. Let's just have a quick check on YouTube, make sure nobody's asking me any questions over there. I laid up 2 months, so we'll be okay to leave the batteries in my txi receiver without worrying or damaging. That's It's Me on YouTube. I would, if you're going to leave them for any extended period of time, I would definitely take the batteries out. 2 or 3 months. That's not because that's not because anything's going to happen to the alarms as such, but batteries, when they're not used, can sometimes leak. And then suddenly you've got a load of leaky batteries. We've all had it in products that have been left to rot maybe for a bit longer than we thought. And then you get leaky batteries, a bit like what I was talking about, getting them out in the winter or out from being hibernation. If you're going to put them away, take the batteries out if you're going to leave them for an extended period of time, just in case the batteries leak. Depends what quality of battery you got in there. If it leaks and gets everywhere, you might cause yourself a problem and have to send it back to have a new battery connector or something. So yeah, generally week to week, month to month, not a problem if they're being used fairly regularly. If you're going to leave them for 2 or 3 months, might be worth just taking the battery out just for a bit of peace of mind in case something happens to that battery. Cheers mate, already on the app. This is Lee Richards. The alarms are like a month and a half old and the water fishing is 2 rods, so hard to use the third tool recently. No issue. That's okay. We'll get that back and we can have a look. If the alarm is less than 3 months old and it is not functioning correctly, then you can take it back to the shop you bought it from and they will exchange it for you for a new one. So maybe that might be an option if it's fresh out the box and it's not performing as it should. We check every single item that leaves us. Every single item. We check for functionality. We check for being sensitive. This is how we would check. Oh, that's not to. So we'd have it up to maximum volume. We blow on it. It goes into the warble. That's how we check sensitivity. We check the buttons work. Obviously, it checks it turns on and off. And we check the range that it works with the receiver. We do that on every single item. We do it on an EVD. We check the sensitivity and make sure everything works. And we check every hanger. We check every receiver. We check everything that leaves us. And no spot checking. Every single item that leaves us is checked. So, you know, and even then, you still get the odd one that fails with every little bit of precaution that we put in. Unfortunately, that is life. Nobody is perfect, but we get 99% there, and then that will do. Or you know, we strive for 100%. We get 99.2, 99.3, I think. So we get very much less than 1% back of what we make. But we do appreciate that any failure to a bite alarm is always a pain in the backside, and that's why we're at the front line. That's why we have to try so hard. But on that, I appreciate your time. Hope that was of some help. Don't forget, I will go back to the chat, and if you've got need any help and advice further, then please let me know. Enjoy your weekend, and of course, one thing, don't forget, we've got a Delkim Facebook group. So rather than the main page, we've started a Facebook group, Delkim Family, where people can come in there, join, get helps and tips from other Delkim users, not just Delkim. You know, it's not a big selling platform. It is for help and advice, people to share pictures, whatever, love of Delkims, people looking at the history of Delkim. So I would definitely advise checking that out. And until next time, good night, God bless. See you all.